Welcome back to Britain's Newsroom on GB News. Now, did you see this? Sir Stephen Fry, yes, he's a sir, he's been knighted. He's claimed that JK Rowling has been radicalised by TERFs and sees her as a lost cause. Can we just clarify what TERFs is for those who don't know?
So the term TERF is used as a slur to insult women who are gender critical, as it were. So it's transgender, exclusionary, radical feminists. That's what it stands for. I actually find that most insulting, and why me being a realist, I'm gender critical, that's ridiculous, because the reality is we know that there are only two sexes, male and female. I have no problem understanding gender, and people have stereotypes of certain genders, but gender to me and sex are the same thing.
I mean, just wear it as a badge of honour, TERF. Same thing.
I know, but we shouldn't be insulted in any. Why are we being called this?
Don't be insulted.
It's an absolute insult. It's an insulting term.
I think by letting them keep it as an insult.
I'm making it quite clear to them that I'm not one of those, and I won't be referred to as that.
Yeah,
I'm a woman.
I just think own it.
I'm just a woman. I'm a female. I'm a woman. I'm somebody who knows the reality rather than delusion. And to be given a name for being a realist is just absurd.
Same thing if people call you racist, though, or right-wingers, if that's something inherently bad. It's just like, yeah, fine, like, if that's what you want to call me.
Yeah, but still.
We're asking whether Stephen Fry is right or whether JK Rowling is just speaking common sense.
Typical of a man to be sort of talking about that. Let's go to another one there.
We're joined by political commentator James Matthewson and spokesperson for Sex Matters, Fiona McAnena. Good morning to you both. Fiona, we'll start with you. Is JK Rowling an extremist, radicalised TERF?
It's extraordinarily patronising to suggest that a woman who's created whole new magical worlds from her own imagination has to be radicalised by other people in order to form her own views. And that in itself I find extremely patronising. And, you know, a man may think that women don't have our own rich inner life and form our own political views, but we do, as Nana's just demonstrated. But secondly, there's nothing radical about believing that men and women are material realities, and sometimes in law, in policy, in life, that matters. That's her position. It's a very common, in fact, it's a majority position. There's nothing radical about it.
James Matthewson, is she radicalised in your view?
Yes, in my opinion, she is. Unfortunately, what we've seen with JK Rowling is a pretty sad story. I mean, people of my generation, my age, were hugely impacted by the Harry Potter books and later the films. I grew up in a town which was transformed by Harry Potter because the first two films were filmed there. So I know the impact that J.K. Rowling's had, and J.K. Rowling could have done so much more. She could have been so much better for our generation. I'm afraid, you know, you say it's the majority view, but not in my generation, because she's completely let down everybody who supported those books and who supported.
So precisely, James, what's your issue with her? Precisely, what she said or done which irks you so much?
Yeah.
It's the complete disdain with which she's shown an entire community, and she's done it in a very, you know, we talk about the opinions.
In what way? In what way, James? Specifically, be specific, James, because you said that it's the disdain. What has she done that's disdainful, as it were?
It's the way that she's mocked and the way that she's come about in a very cruel manner when she talks about trans people.
Well, what has she said?
She's been doing this now for many years on social media predominantly, but she started with this, you know, what we'd call gender critical views, but has just gone rapidly down this pipeline, unfortunately, of this online space of, you know, so-called TERFs, whatever you want to call them.
Whatever you want to call them. Hold on. The TERFs is a reference to someone like me who believes in biological reality, and someone like Fiona. Fiona, your thoughts?
Well, JK Rowling has done a damn sight more than the four of us put together for people in the world, and especially for children and increasing literacy, but also for women and girls who are victims of male violence. She's given away millions of pounds. She co-founded the charity Lumos. So I think her legacy is pretty secure. I think she has done an awful lot more good than anyone could have expected. So that's the first thing. She has then had the courage to speak up and defend women and girls when we have felt unable to do so for ourselves. Now, I'm speaking up, but a lot of people, including the founder of our organisation, Sex Matters, have lost their jobs for speaking up in defence of their own legal rights. And they are legal rights. It is entirely lawful and appropriate to recognise that sometimes we can't pretend that someone has changed sex because it matters to us. So it's extraordinary to criticise JK Rowling. She's gone further than most of our politicians have done in daring to speak the truth in defence of the defenceless.
Can I ask you, James, what is a woman?
But that's Nana.
I'm just wondering. Well, it's just a simple question because no. I'm just asking, what is a woman then? Because do you believe that a man can become a woman and a woman can become a man?
Yes, because man and woman is gendered.
So what is a woman?
Sex.
So what is a
woman? Male
woman?
and there is female, which is sex. This is a problem that I think a lot of you have, unfortunately.
Well, I think the problem is you can't say what a woman is. If a man can become a woman and a woman can become a man, then what is a woman?
Nana, you're not even letting me speak, right? What I'm talking about here is we've got gender, we've got sex, okay? Sex is a scientific reality. You've got male and female, okay? And then you've got gender, which is social constructs. Gender is a social construct. Many people now who identify as non-binary, for example, who don't feel in either gender and gendered terms. So that's a completely separate issue.
No, gender stereotypes are a construct.
Is what you're talking about. And that's obviously a completely separate issue. But the whole point here is, and what I'm talking about, is the disdain with which JK Rowling, the disdain with the likes of Sex Matters, the way they have treated the trans community, right? Because let me tell you now, because we talk about the reality, people's opinions and feelings and all the rest of it, and that's fine, right? I'm a feminist. I believe in women's rights. I believe in women's safety. But the problem here is we are focusing on an absolute minority of people who have no, when you look at it in the round, who have no threat to women. Statistically,
you don't know that. You listen. You don't. The threat to women.
Sorry, not in the way that men.
Sorry. Can I just say? No, I did listen to you. I did listen, but I'm just going to say this: the threat to women isn't necessarily that small minority. The threat to women is women losing their rights as women for single-sex spaces and things like that. Because as you said yourself, that it is a biological reality. So you understand the biological reality, and whether a man dresses up as a woman or not, a man is still a man.
No, I'm sorry.
And the reason why the spaces are separate is because women are actually...
No. Listen, this is the whole problem, is that you say man dressing up as a woman.
Yes.
That's despicable, Nana.
Well, it's the truth.
That is not the reality.
What else?
Nana, do you have any trans friends?
I have plenty of them.
Do you mix with trans people?
I have mixed with trans people. I mix with all people. Listen, we've got to go, James. We want to talk about this and we can spend more time on it. But unfortunately, we have some breaking news.
Fiona McAnena,
very briefly, Fiona, finish with you.
I think James has just demonstrated why men can't be feminists, because he's not centering women. He's centering this tiny number of men who claim to be women instead of the rest of us.
Yeah, great point. I have to say, there's nothing that makes me cringe more than a man who says they're a feminist. I mean, to me, it's a bit weird. James, thank you very much. And Fiona.